What's going on, collectors? Optical 20 back for another video review. This time it's Neo from The Matrix, and you can order this figure at bigbadtoystore.com. Just click the link down below, as we're going to start off with a box. Excellent box, this time by Hot Toys. Typically they've been slacking off lately, I'm not gonna lie, but this one is a bit more creative. You can see the Matrix Neo there, and then the typical, neon green and the black background. You can see those texts falling down, and if you take this off, it's not your, it's kind of like a typical shoebox type. However, this one has this slide out, transparent, shiny inlay in here. So you just take this off here, and this one's soft, but it it gives you a nice effect, because on the background you see those falling neon text, and it just creates this illusion that it's nice. You can even take this one and make it as a backdrop to Neo, and when you open it up, you can see the red pill and the blue pill, and something is written right there on the side, says Matrix Neo. On the back as well. Now, moving on to the accessories, he has the open palm hands, kind of like the stopping bullet hands, fisted hands, and two trigger finger hands. As far as the guns, this is any gun enthusiast dream of owning any figures like this. It comes with 92F. Every gun is, it comes in a couple. So this 92F, nice details on it. And I also do have Punisher. So if you do own Punisher, you can kind of borrow guns from this guy or the Punisher, or vice versa. I had 3-0, and I've noticed the guns are just the paint application is lacking. Not only that, the details on the gun itself, as you can see here, the slide moves back and forth, and typically you can take off the magazine. I'm having a hard time on this particular gun, but trust me, it does take off, and the paint application is nice. It gives you this weathered metallic impression, this dry brush, and you can see you got an Uzi. Nice details as well. Just want to close up here. You got those gold bits. This one has no articulation, but you can still take off the magazine and kind of extend it there, and nice details all around. It's made out of plastic, not anything die cast or anything like that, but again, it's a nice, beautiful paint application here, and a lot of details. I don't own this particular gun. I did own the 92F back in the day. Replaced it with a P2927. Even the magazine itself, it does come with this weathering, so it doesn't look like a brand new gun that just came out of the dealership or Cabela's. You see on top, it's weathering and all that stuff. Just give you that metallic look as well. And the good thing about this figure is that with these guns, I'm going to show it to you later how I kind of put them in the figure, because if you remember that scene where they're trying to rescue Morpheus, spoiler alerts if you haven't seen the movie within 20 years, just guns were popping out of nowhere, and at one point I was like, where did that came from? Especially, I believe it's the Scorpion, when he was pinned down in one of the pillars, and it was like, I didn't see that initially. Yeah, but hey, it's the Matrix, and he does have a holster on his body, and this is the Scorpion. I just don't know what the use is for, because even on the instruction manual, you can see, well, nice details in here as well. But yeah, it even says on the instruction that you gotta put the two handguns on his, which is movie accurate, on his waist along his pants, but that really rendered the holster pretty useless. However, it's there. Movie accuracy is important, but it's up to you however you want to display your figure. It's on your own volition. And this is the MP5. You can see there's no stock. However, he did put there's a clamp. It's like an easy clamp. I wouldn't even call it like a clip that you insert at the end of each gun, and they're gonna be tied up together with this nice pleather material. Hopefully it does not peel down the line, but really nice. It even has this this handrail right here, and there's a lot of moving parts. You can take out the magazine. You can, nicely painted, I guess, MP5. Beautifully done. No stock. Normally it's for is it CQB, CQ4, something like that. Close quarters. It used to be folding stock back in the day, but this one completely does not have one. But it's again beautiful. If you're against gun, you might not want to pick up this figure because he comes with so many guns. He even has the M16s. You know, I don't know if you noticed, but I started from the smallest gun all the way to the, and it's only 235, which is the beautiful part about this figure, is that it is not expensive. You know, like as far as Hot Toy standard nowadays, 235, you know, comes with this dynamic base and so many accessories, so many guns. The outfit is just terrific in my opinion, but yeah, you get your money's worth as far as this figure is concerned. You can see he got the M16 in here, magazine again. You can take it off. Nice details in here. You know, I feel like I'm just repeating myself over and over, but you're gonna appreciate what Hot Toys is doing when you see other companies like 3-0 when they, you know, mold their guns and you compare them. It's not even close. I know there's some third-party companies, I think Damn Toys, who creates guns and accessories for 1/6 as well, but it's not even, you know, you can't compete with Hot Toys. Hot Toys is great with their paint application, their eyes. The eyes on their figure are just top notch, and I would say accessory wise, guns, you can see that they really put their heart and effort in this figure. And I wish they do that on every single figure, but it's not evident on some, let's say, some figures that they know they're gonna sell, you know, like the Captain America Infinity War. I just don't see a whole lot of love that was poured in. It looks like it's just, you know, they know it's gonna sell, it's Marvel. But for something like Neo, this is a 20-year-old film, so, and I know most of the people who buys Hot Toys are a bit on the older side because just of how expensive it is. I guess they just, you know, trying to be on the safe side and make sure that this is top notch. And this one is the duffel bag where most of his guns, not most of his guns, but there's a good number of guns was in here. If you remember the scene once again where he's going through the metal detector and they put this thing onto the x-ray, and it's a nice scene altogether. See this duffel bag, nice details on it. It has this plastic look that it does have wheels, which it does, but it doesn't really work. But it's a nice touch that it's there. You get this sunglasses. You gotta be careful, you know, with these glasses because they're small, they're fragile, so you just, you know, be careful. If you happen to bend those the ends of the sunglasses, just make sure you can glue them, but it's black, so it's gonna be a tough one. And the dynamic base, it's beautiful. Again, it reminds you of that scene, the flooring of that scene. And something different about that clamp, it's not the usual clamp that I'm used to seeing. This one's smaller, so if I get a closer look, I guess it's made so you can clamp this alongside his leg, so you can do several things. And you can see there I broke the part where his back normally lies, which I have just glued it together. You know, I'm not gonna contact Big Bad for that because it was my error. And in here you can see his boots. Nice one because it's actually made of a material kind of like a pleather. It's two parts, so there's ankle articulation. They went away from the solid plastic boot, which I highly applaud from Hot Toys. Anytime that you can put more articulation in a figure, you know, I'm all for it. And it gives some sort of a realism when you do that. His outfit is a bit boring, but it's not Hot Toys' fault. It's just how it is. There's also got some, you know, if you watch the movie, he has an outfit where he is kind of wearing a coat, but it's like a Chinese traditional outfit, which is not included here, but maybe down the line they're gonna take a version 2 with a different, you know, facial expression. Not sure what expression that is because Keanu Reeves' expression doesn't really change all that much. But you can see here the holster is made out of rubber. Nothing pleather like that or whatever. But as far as articulation, you know, it's standard true type body for Hot Toys, so there's a lot of range of movement, typical range of movement. I'm not even gonna demonstrate that from you guys, but as you can see here, there's some minimal details on the outfit, but enough enough for me to. I mean, I like this figure regardless. I'm gonna buy it, and then I did buy it. But I'm just saying, like with the boring black outfit, it still to me it still stands out. As you can see there, his boots has nice details on it. Those buckles, the toe section, which is I didn't even pay attention to the movie. I rewatched it, but typically when I'm reviewing Iron Man or something Marvel, you kind of admire the work that goes into the figure. This guy right here is just, yeah, it's just pure black. One more thing that I want to mention though is that since this is all black, as you can see here, when you receive the package, when you open it up first, you'll see some plastic on his neck, on his wrist, and there's a reason for that because most fabric with this black materials do bleed over time, and I know that by experience. I have Alfred from Batman, the Dark Knight with the armory version, and I kept it for a long time, but once I took him out, I saw on his hand that it got some black stains on it. So what I typically do is, for a figure like him, Wonder Woman, I got the deluxe version where she has this black overlay. I try to wash them out first just to take out the excess dye, and you can do that several times. I with Enterbay, they're notorious for this one, especially those with compression shirts, which he does have, which Neo does have. So you just gotta be careful. I did not remove his compression shirt like you saw earlier. However, I'll take my chances because I just feel like I don't want to stretch it out. But definitely the coat it's wired. Don't put it on a dryer. Just put it on a washing machine. Put it on a sock or something of a pouch of some sort so it does not mess with other clothing. And I just want to show you how he looks like if you load him up with guns, basically. I feel like the Uzis are on the back of his pants. You can see the MP5 just hanging around his neck, being attached through that leather-like material. I had him hold the Scorpion, but on the Uzis, there's a section in his pants. It's like a carpenter's pants, which you can kind of just put the handle. Is it movie accurate? I'm not quite sure, but I just saw him like with his pants on the back. The guns on the side of his pants. As far as the head sculpt, we got some mixed reaction with the head sculpt. Some people are saying it looks like Neo. I'm kind of in between. I'll give it a 7 out of 10, which is I don't really want to rate figure that number wise. The reason is that I see Keanu Reeves in this sculpt, but it's not strong enough. I guess it's a bit soft. If you notice, even though it's 20 years old and he was younger back then, but he has this pronounced I don't know 5 o'clock shadow that it was which is not fully present in this sculpt. It's a bit bland. It gets a lot better when you put the sunglasses on him, but I don't know if you remove the clothing, just take the head sculpt out and you show it to someone, I don't know if they're gonna instantly recognize this as Neo or Keanu Reeves at least. It's definitely there. It's just not 10 out of 10. It's just not 100% in my opinion. But I've seen some custom works, and I always pick Hot Toys just because their paint application is just second to none. And in this case, I think that it did help the paint application, but maybe it's the sculpt itself that is preventing it from looking really like Neo. And when you put the glasses on, as you can see here, I think it has a better likeness with the glasses on than it's off. So it might, I don't know, maybe the problem lies within the eyes. Who knows? But you can see here the hairline and all that stuff. So I don't know why I did that panning, but I just want to get closer to the action here. The glasses are a bit weird as well. It's not contoured right. So if yours is not, just put it on the hot water and put it on the cold water right again. So that's how you manipulate plastic. So bend it as much as you want to, just to make sure that, because mine it keeps on falling off. It seems like one of the hand is extending out. So and I'm gonna put him in a few poses before I wrap this thing up. This is the scene I just rewatched the movie by a bit, where he's deflecting Agent what's his name? I don't know. His punches, where he just put his one hand behind his back, and he's a total badass now. And the iconic scene, most of the reviews that you've seen by now, pretty sure did this cartwheel scene where he was holding an M16 and just shooting people with it while not jumping, but doing a cartwheel, and then just this figure is just so much fun, especially if you watch the movie, and I hope you do. If you haven't, do yourself a favor, go to Best Buy and grab the Blu-ray, or yeah, it's probably on Netflix, I don't know, Amazon or something like that. It was a good movie for its time, and I think it still holds pretty, like in this day and age. The graphics was phenomenal back then in year 2000 or 1999. Everyone was all about bullet time. This inspired Max Payne, the video game. But now everyone's know what the process is. You go on a green screen with a bunch of cameras. But yeah, the Wachowski brothers, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's how you pronounce their name, was pretty advanced when it comes to filmmaking. That makes this figure a bit more fun, because having a true type body and an outfit that does not restrict any movement, so and you're gonna have fun. So this is one of those things where he's doing a cartwheel, full of action. And this one, I had so much fun with this figure as well, when it's the bullet time. Basically the bullet time. When he's trying to dodge bullets. You can see here I still use the same bendy pole, so you could or not, it's up to you. You could use the clamp. I did use that for his waist. This here he is, so you kind of like just extend the back, tilt the head back all the way back as you could, kind of like just dodging something. You could also, if you want to, you can kind of hide that pole if you just strategically position him a better way. But this is rotating base, so I don't want him toppling over. That's why I put the clamp on his waist, so he doesn't move around and just scratch his nose, because that's always that always happens when a figure falls down. But yeah, this is so much fun. There's a lot of poses. You can have that thing where he's stopping the bullet, kind of like a Jedi, and it's your imagination would just run wild with this. And once I start taking pictures on Instagram, I'm sure I'm gonna have a lot of fun, because it was a lot of fun putting him in this pose. It's not that difficult. You just find a fine tune every here and there, but yeah, it's pretty easy. One of the more iconic scenes in the 90s, or one of the more iconic movies of all time, Matrix. I can't wait for John Wick, the figure that we have as well. And there you go, guys. The Matrix Neo from Hot Toys. Hopefully, I kind of convince you in buying this figure, because I want this figure to succeed. I want Hot Toys to take risk every once in a while, even though I don't see this as a big risk, because it's yes, the movie is old, 20 years old, but like I mentioned earlier, I feel like most collectors are above 25 years old anyway, just because of how expensive this is. And mostly if you can afford this kind of figure, that means you got a pretty good job that can afford that that you can afford this figure. But yeah, great figure, awesome value for the price. Can't really complain for $235. The likeness could be a little bit better, although it doesn't really bother me all that much. I'm gonna display him with his glasses on, so without the glasses on, I would say it's a 7.5. I'll give you a 0.5 more. Maybe it's not a complete 7. You know what? I'll give it an 8. With the glasses on, I will give it an 8.5. So I mean, don't let that deter you from getting this figure. If you've seen the movie, you know what it's capable of. It's probably made an impact to you, back in the day. And honestly, it's a good value. And don't wait till it gets sold out and you gotta pay secondary price on eBay. So yeah. So thank you for watching, guys. Once again, if you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel. It really inspires me to make more videos. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll see you guys in the next review.